We have this, one of the formulas we use for our pro bono projects allows law students to develop sort of know your rights presentations and then take that presentation on the road.
Okay.
And they'll take that presentation to communities that don't have a lot of access to that information.
All right.
With the Animal Rights Project, some of the information that students are sharing with the community are things like licensing laws,
okay.
The laws around feeding feral cats, or how to defend against a dog bite citation.
Okay.
And what pet owners' rights are as far as dog bite citations, because a lot of pet owners don't really know that there are options available to them short of turning over their dog that they might consider or take into consideration before they do in fact hand over their dog. And I think it's important for people who have pets to know what those rights are, but also to know what their obligations are, to know that you're liable for damage that a dog does if it has a propensity for violence, and to know that if you're feeding cats in your backyard, you might also be responsible for some of the damage that those cats do to your neighbors. So there are really interesting nuances in animal law and pet ownership that I don't think we think about a whole lot, but as a pet lover, I really think it's an important community to assist. Pet licenses, for example, you have to have a license for your dog in the city of Albany, and if you don't have a license and you're at the dog park and your dog isn't licensed, you can get a ticket. And not everybody can afford these tickets, and we don't want to put people in a position where they are not caring for their pets simply because it just becomes too expensive to address the legal issues around their pet ownership.
Are there any other areas of pro bono law where you're able to help our viewers around New York State that we haven't covered?
Oh, sure. I mean, we do immigration assistance. We do know your rights presentations to detainees in Albany. We are developing a presentation for communities that are at risk of human trafficking. So that presentation will really educate people on what kind of signs.
I understand that's a big problem in the Buffalo area, the human trafficking.
It is a big problem in upstate New York and a lot of our farm regions. It's a problem everywhere. It's a problem anytime you have big influxes of tourists. So there are, some cases of human trafficking in the, associated with track season. There may be some instances of human trafficking associated with a lot of the big sports events, but it shows up in many areas. I mean, I don't know specifically how many cases of human trafficking are under investigation here in Albany, but we do think that as people do come into the community and our population fluctuates with new families, that we should be aware of the fact that sometimes these are trafficking victims, and that there's a hotline that you can call, and there's ways that you can help alert authorities to that possibility if you see something. And some of the information will also provide information to people who may themselves be victims of trafficking for where they can go for help.
If people need pro bono legal assistance, how can they get additional information anywhere in New York State?
They can call the New York State Bar Association.
Okay.
They have a website. I don't have that number on me. Okay. But the New York State Bar Association has a pro bono program. They have access to information across the state, and they also have an attorney referral program if there are not pro bono opportunities in that area. There's a website called lawhelpny.org, which is a remarkable resource to everybody. Anyone can use that website to find the closest legal service provider, but they can find court documents, information about whatever their legal need is. And if they can't find the document or the form or the information they're looking for, there is a live chat option where they can talk to a law student or an attorney live through this sort of chat application that will lead you right to the module that you're looking for. So that's a really great resource. Many counties have bar associations, and there are legal service providers scattered across the state. Unfortunately, in the rural communities, it may be much more difficult to access some of those offices. And hopefully, if you do find an office closest to you, they may have clinic days or days that they come into those smaller communities and meet with clients, monthly or bi-weekly or something.